Hello there, good morning. Welcome to another session of Pilates Mat Class. To begin today, we are just going to sit on our mats with our legs out in front of us and just enjoy sitting for a moment, finding how well we're able to sit and how tall am I able to sit, reaching the crown of my head with an imaginary string up towards the sky. Legs nice and long out in front of me. If this is difficult to sit tall, then go ahead, by all means, bend your knees just enough to find a little bit more ease to sit taller with. All right, from that place, we get started. So, most important thing in our lives that we accomplish is breathing. Allow your brain to help you feel like you can have the longest exhales that you ever thought you could muster. So on that note, we'll start with 3 full breath cycles. Take a huge inhale and exhale. Last one. So from there, I'm going to let my legs and my feet go a little wider. Here's an opportunity if you need a little throne to sit on, a blanket, a roller, a half roller, a yoga block are all good choices to just elevate your throne so that the top of your hips are a little above the knee creases and your feet and your legs are going in a downward slope. We're going to start with spine stretch forward. So arms out in front of you. Palms can either face each other, up, down, whatever your body is happy with. So from the crown of your head, we're creating a sideways U shape, so to speak, with our body. So I'm going to reach my crown of my head forward, and I'm just going to go into the neck flexing, the middle of the upper back flexing, the middle back, the low back, and going as far forward without losing my voice. My voice is my indicator that I am able to breathe easy. And then I'm going to come back to sitting nice and tall right over those sit bones. Taking another inhale, exhale, spine stretch forward. Inhale for a pause. Exhale, coming back to sitting nice and tall. And from there, I also want to go into a side type of a stretch. So I'm going to let my arms go up towards the sky. Let my left arm go down towards the side of my left hip. And I'm going to let my right arm go up and over to open up the right side body. The left elbow just kind of falls towards the earth to keep the left shoulder happy. Head and neck just tilted to the left a little. Eyes soft. And we come back up. Left arm comes up. Right hand goes down to the side of your right bum, right hip. And we go up and over to open up the left side. We just breathe into the left lungs. My head tilted a little right. My earlobe is reaching for the right shoulder. Right shoulder is happy, left shoulder is happy. And then I come back. One more each way. And I come back. So now let's go into a little rotation. I'm going to reach my right hand to somewhere around my left knee, thigh bone, wherever my body can go, and my collarbones also twisted towards that left side. I'm being mindful that I have equal weight on both right and left sit bones. My left hand goes somewhere behind me, wherever your body is happy across the collarbones and the shoulders. And now I'm going to just spider walk my fingertips a little further behind me to see if I can twist a little bit more. I'm going to allow my head, neck, and eyes to go towards the left, just to give my body indication that the spine should go with me wherever I'm going. Just a huge spiral in the body. And then carefully spider walking those hands, head, neck, and eyes come back to center. Left hand goes somewhere on top of the left thigh bone, and the right hand goes on the right thigh bone. And yes, we're ready to go to the other side. So now I'm going to take my left hand somewhere towards my right thigh bone, kneecap, wherever my hand lands. And my right hand goes behind me, right side body, hopefully twisting right more. And I'm letting my head, neck, and eyes go with my hands. This is my challenging side today, so just so you know. And then I come right back to center. Yeah, that felt good. Let's do it again, but a little differently. I'm going to take my fingertips across the top of my shoulders, elbows hanging down, shoulders happy, and I'm going to twist left. And I'm just going to use this as a little sponge in my lungs, and I'm going to twist a little bit more, twist a little bit more. I'm thinking of wringing out a soft, wet sponge. And then I come back to center. Now I'm thinking broad, happy sponge. And that broad, happy sponge are my lungs. I'm going to twist right again and go into those pulses. Soft, wet sponge. Wringing it out. Coming back to center. Very nice. I'm going to bring both legs towards the middle. They're not completely kissing each other, but they're somewhere closer toward each other. Toes directly up. Arms go up towards the sky. Nothing changes, but I'm going to hinge forward. Long, long spine forward. Just a hinge. And then from there, if it's available, you're just going to reach for your right leg, thinking of pulling that right thigh bone deep into your hip socket, letting those right elbows fall down, giving yourself a different stretch for the back of the right leg and thigh bone. And then I come back to sitting up nice and tall. I already feel heavier on the right leg and thigh bone. Same love for the left side. Arms go up to the sky. I hinge forward, and then I let my hands land somewhere on my left legs. Left leg. I don't have two left legs. And then my elbows go down, head, neck tall, and thinking of letting the leg go deep into the thigh bone and the thigh bones going deep into the hip sockets. And I'm staying as tall as I can as I flex from my pelvis forward. And breathing. Just giving the back of the left leg and thigh bone a little love. And then I come back. Oh yeah, I already feel a lot taller. And now along that line, arms out in front of you, just a subtle pelvic tilt. So let the tail curl towards your heels. The pelvis rolls around the thigh bones, and then you come right back to sitting up tall. So what changed? Hopefully just the small of your back changed shape because the low belly lifted up across the front of the body, and we come back. So we don't get to shrink at all. We're just thinking of changing the nature of the spine and changing the shape of the spine and the small of your back. And then we come right back to sitting tall. 2 more times. It's just a pelvic tilt. What's least amount of energy necessary. And then coming right back. 1 more. On the next one we stay. Here I am with my arms nice and long, head, neck, and shoulders happy. And then from here, I'm going to let the arms just fall down towards gravity. Take a breath in. Exhale, drag the hands forward and float them off the ground. Just simple. Inhale, arms go down. Using this as a means to get really deep into that low pubic bone diaphragm. I know I said pelvic diaphragm. I meant to say pelvic diaphragm instead of pubic bone diaphragm. But you know what I'm talking about. Last 2. Last one. Excellent. And then I'm going to come all the way up, let my legs go wide, and flex forward again, as far forward without having to round my upper back. Trying to stay really broad across my upper back. It's a huge adductor stretch for my inner thighs and legs. Whew. and then carefully coming back. So from there, I know that was just very simple. We come back. We're just going to increase the intensity just a tiny bit. Take a breath in, exhale, pelvic tilt again. And now you find that comfort spot or that sweet spot where you can stay in a pelvic tilt. Invite the low belly, the organs across the front to really rest and feel comfortable across the front of the back. So now let your right thigh bone come somewhere near you. Right leg is bent. You're holding behind your right thigh bone. Shoulders happy, head, neck, and shoulders happy. Without anything changing, get a deeper tilt. Maybe the small of your back kisses the earth. And then you rock right back up. Just that part. So my left leg is staying long. I use my breath to rock back to maybe to kiss the low back, and then I come right back up. As you notice, my left leg lifted off the ground a little. That's okay. It's been a few days for me. Yes, one more. I'm just toying with the idea of letting my right thigh bone get deep into that socket. And then I'm going to come all the way up, let that right leg stretch out in front of me, whew, and then stretch forward again. Hopefully you can tell the right leg feels a little bit more onto the earth, heavier onto the earth, and resting comfortably. Same invitation for the left side. Pelvic tilt, arms wherever they are, and then invite that left thigh bone to come near you. I like to drag it towards me, then I know I'm not working hard. Same thing. Hands go behind your thigh bone, head, neck, and shoulders happy and broad. Pelvic tilt, go as deep as your body allows you to. Maybe you kiss the small of your back onto the earth, and then you rock your way right back up. It's okay to use a little momentum. As a matter of fact, using a lovely exhale will help you. See? 3 to 4 more times. Remember, the head, neck, and shoulders really don't change a lot, ideally. You have a little bobble in your head, meaning that the neck is free and supple. 2 more. There should not be a lot of work here. It should be fairly simple and easy. And then we come all the way up, sit as tall as you can, and flex forward again. All right. So from there, I know you're really wondering, when is she going to go all the way down on her back? I'm getting ready to now, just so we can explore a different type of rotation. We roll all the way down, taking your time. Each little vertebra gets its own piece of the real estate on the lovely Mother Earth. And then once you roll down, rest all the way down with the arms nice and long by your sides. Invite your right leg in towards you. Take it up towards the sky. Leg circles. 6 leg circles one way, 6 leg circles the other way. And what am I doing with the left foot? I'm flexing it. Right foot is also flexed today. Different days, different feeling. 6. And then I'm going to go the other way. And the range of motion with your circles is predicated by how easy it is, not by how hard it is. And then stretching that leg nice and long out in front of you. Already feel different. Same love for the left side. So drag your left foot on the earth and then bring that left leg up to the sky. Right foot is flexed, left foot is happy and flexed. 6 circles. You go across the body, down, around, and up, and then away, down, around, and up. And then stretch it away. 6 circles both ways. Well, if you feel like it, arms go up and back behind you. You take a breath in. As long as the ribs did not come off of the ground, keep the arms up above. If that did not happen and your ribs wanted to help, Leave your elbows down by your sides with the palms facing each other, elbows bent. So your lower arms are off the ground and the palms are facing each other. If that's where you are, you're going to bend both legs, put your feet on the mat, each heel in front of each sit bone respectively. And then from there, we just go into a little pelvic tilting and release. Even here, how is my breastbone falling heavy into my backbone? And how are my collarbones and the shoulder blades with the arms resting in the nest of the ribs? 2 more. And after this next pelvic tilting, we're just going to go right into our bridging. So lifting your hips into your bridge and then slowly peeling your way down. Now being mindful, all corners of your feet on the mat, taking a breath in, exhale, pelvic tilt, sliding your hips up, knees and your shins hopefully having a conversation with the heels, and then rolling back down. So essentially the leg bone feels like it slides directly back on top of the heel and it slides forward as you roll down. So now it slides back on top of the heel, the shin bones, the knees go forward, the thighs open up, and then you roll your way back down. Last one. Excellent. So now from here, we're just going to take one leg up to the sky, and then the other leg follows suit up to the sky. Arms are nice and long by your sides. The infamous 100s coming up next. I'm only going to do 5 of the 100s, and at any time, if you need to, you can always keep your head, neck, and shoulders down and just pump the arms for the inhales and the exhales. So here I go. And remember, if you are pregnant and you don't feel like you want to come up to your 100s, it's not necessary. Keeping the legs up in the air, keeping your head, neck, and shoulders down, it's still good benefit for the legs to get a nice stretch here as you breathe. So take another inhale, let it go. And now if you want to curl up and it feels good for you, you curl up for your 100 from your head, neck, and shoulders. Always being able to have a soft bob across your neck. That should tell you that your neck is free. And then we start. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Bring your knees into your chest. Relax your head, neck, and shoulders down. Stretch the right leg away. Stretch the left leg away. Arms nice and long somewhere behind you, or they float right over your chest. You curl your head, neck, and shoulders. You do a roll up if that's in your practice. If not, just roll over onto your side to roll your way all the way up. There we go. Voila. From there, we're going right on to side lying sequence. So we're going to go onto our side where I'm on my left side. So my left elbow is directly under my left shoulder. I have a little bit of energy across the left armpit just so I don't collapse into my shoulder. I don't want to slump into that shoulder. I want to stay up and out of that shoulder. And my side body has been invited, but just enough. I'm thinking more about the invitation insides of my body rather than the outsides of my body. And I'm in a nice long line from head to tail. Head and tail are having a conversation. Collarbones are broad and open. Your top hand can help you also to reach the back of the neck nice and long. The elbow should be slightly forward just so you can keep the shoulder happy. So both of my knees are stacked one on top of each other, and both of my feet are stacked one on top of each other. Here we go. Very simple. We're just going to go into a few clams. We're going to open the right knee up to the sky and close. Being mindful that the hip did not roll back, that we stay directly over the bottom hip, and it's just the thigh bone rolling out inside the socket. And allow that small of your back to stay nice and long and happy by lifting across the front body up towards your throat. 3. I know I'm very slow. 4. 5. We're going for 10. It's a bunch of them. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. So now we add a little. So we're going to open. We're going to let that bottom foot and leg come off. So the bottom thigh bone and leg are parallel to the bottom thigh bone and leg. Let that right foot come back onto the left foot and the knees close. So that sequence 10 times. We open and then we lift the leg. We let the leg come back down and fold at the knees. So we open the knees, lift the bottom leg off, top leg off. Take the top foot down and close at the knees. I'll stop talking. Here's number 4. You know what we're doing. 6. I know. I'm already feeling my right bum. It's okay. It's normal. And 9. And 10. Excellent. So now, from there, we go on to one more thing on this same side. I know it's been a while. We're practicing on how well can we support this left side body here without collapsing into the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist. They're not our weight-bearing areas today. So now that top leg, that right leg reaches nice and long. The right hand comes back behind the head. We're just going into our leg kicks. Leg kick forward, leg kick back. Just simple. 2. And 3, and 4, and 5. Keep it back there. Bend that knee. Reach that right foot to your bum. Reach it forward. So bicycle pattern. 5 bicycle pattern one way. 5 bicycle pattern the other way. Sweep that leg all the way. And now sweep it forward as you reach it. Reach it way back before you have to bend. Reach it way back and then sweep it forward. 5 both directions. Are you still up and out of that bottom shoulder? Let that right foot fall somewhere behind you. Go ahead and twist and put that right forearm underneath the left or on top of the left forearm, wherever you are. Forearm is your lower arm, from the elbow to your hand. That right leg that's reaching behind you, you're going to keep that right leg reaching somewhere behind you. Reach it off of the ground. Head, neck, and shoulders broad. You're looking somewhere forward and slightly up. 5 circles one way, 5 circles the other way from the top of the thigh bone. 4, 5, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then carefully come back to center. So both knees come back stacked, both feet come back stacked. I know you thought you were done, but we're almost there. We're going into a planking sequence from there. Very modified, simple planking sequence. So we're on our elbow and our wrist. We're just going to lift the hips off for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. 5 more times, same principle. 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower. 3 more times. 4, 3, 2, and lower. 3, 2, and lower. Last one. 4, 3, 2, and lower. And stretch both legs somewhere out in front of you. Swing your legs out and just notice, how are you sitting on your right versus your left? Do you feel like your right leg is or your whole right side body feels completely foreign compared to the left? I sure do. It's pretty awesome. Now I know I want to invite my right side to feel the same love my left side just felt. So I'm going to swing around just so I can continue facing you. My right elbow is directly under the right shoulder, right underarm coming into play, right side body happy. So sometimes I literally have to let my right ribs kind of lift up and hug the left ribs up to the sky. And then my hand will help me to keep that head, neck, and tail orientation. I can tell my right hip wanted to come a little forward of the right elbow, so I'm going to find that connection. Left hip is directly on top of the right hip, so my pelvis is perpendicular to the earth. And then my knees are kissing each other, my feet are kissing each other. So here we go. We started with the clams. We're going to open the left thigh bone up and fold, being mindful that the hip didn't roll back or roll forward. So it's just all about the thigh bone. 2, 3. Yes, you should feel your bum and the side of your thigh bone. 5, 6. I like to do these fairly slow because my range of motion improves. Yes, as I give it attention. Awareness is key. And that was 10. Excellent. So now we let the thigh bone open, and then the leg lifts up so they're parallel to each other. The foot falls and the knees kiss. The knees open, the feet go away from each other, the feet kiss, the knees kiss. You've got it. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yay! Excellent. So now reach that left leg nice and long. Left hand comes behind to support your head. Remind your right ribs to lift off of the ground again if they ended up going down. Kick, kick forward, and kick, kick back. Kick, kick forward. Just 5 of those. Breathe whatever feels comfortable. Remember, breath is a tool. And now we go into our bicycle pattern. We reach, we bend, and we reach that knee forward before we stretch that leg. Keeping that bent knee as long as available. Oh yeah, 5. And now we reverse the process. Allow the upper body to absorb what it's absorbing. Don't fight it. It loves to twist differently as the leg is rolling around in the socket. So let it happen. And 5. Reach that leg nice and long behind you. Let it fall somewhere. Twist and put both hands, both forearms on the ground, either underneath each other or on top of one each other. I don't even know. Anyway, so broad collarbones, easy shoulders. Don't hide your neck space. Don't hide your smile. Reach that left leg off the ground. 5 circles from the top of the thigh bone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let that leg fall. Good. Come back to where we were originally. Both knees kissing, both feet kissing. Here we go. We go into our side plank. Yay! Hand comes back behind you if it helped last time. And we float those hips off for 5, 4, 3, 2, and back down. Same thing again, 5 times. Float up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Swing your legs out in front of you. Oh yeah, much more even. Stretch forward. Excellent. That'll take us right into our hands and knees connection next. So I'm going to go over onto my hands and knees. Hands spreading really wide. It's like I have spider hands. I'm just pressing the ball of my fingertips or the pads of my fingertips onto the earth. and pulling across the earth. So knees are hip width apart, hands are collarbone ending width apart, which is shoulder width apart, which if you could imagine, if you trace your collarbone all the way to the corner where it nestles into the shoulder blade and the rib, that's where you want your hands to be. All right, now from there, all you're gonna do is you're just gonna go into a cat shape by puffing the low back, middle back, upper back, and your head ends up nodding a little, looking at your belly button. And then we go through the center to go into our cow shape where we let everything go, but continuing to stay mindful of our voice. Our talk test is a simple way to tell that we're keeping our airway open and we haven't let our neck go into an uncomfortable position. Just 3 more. And last one. So now we come through our neutral. We're going to curl the toes under, so tucking the toes under into a plank-like position. We're going to puff the small of our back up towards the sky. So essentially we just rounded the low back up, and then we're going to hover the knees off the ground. Just 5 centimeters maybe for 15. It's already 10. And back down. That's simple. We're going to do it again for 5, 10, 15 seconds. So here we go. Puffing the small of your back, hovering the knees for 15 seconds. And lower back down. I feel like I'm ready. One last one. 15, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower back down. So this next one, it's very simple. It's just to help open up all of those things we kind of worked on a few moments ago. We're going to reach the right leg nice and long somewhere behind us without lifting that right hip or pelvis up, changing the whole spinal connection. We're just going to allow it to be all about the right thigh bone to the foot connection. So I say that. And then from that connection, we're going to float that right leg off the ground, keeping that connection. If I could put a coffee cup between the 2 sides of your bum, it should stay there. And it shouldn't tip over onto the right, it shouldn't tip over onto the left. Keeping that in mind, you're going to take the left arm nice and long out in front of you. So for some of us, this is our bird dog exploration. Or, in my mind, it's just an opposite arm, leg reach on your hands and knees. And we come back to center. Both knees down, both hands down. Same thought process for the other side. Reach that left leg nice and long on the earth first. Find that low belly lift connection. And then we float that left leg nice and long somewhere behind us. And remember, a soft point, not a drastic point. Keep it happy across the ankles. And then let right hand comes off somewhere in front of you. Keep your head and neck long. Head's reaching for the wall in front of you, tail's reaching for the wall behind you. That coffee cup isn't tilting over across the pelvis. And then we come back to center. So now we mobilize a little. We're going to take that right toe onto the ground and we're going to sit back on this left hip and bum just to get that left front of the hip a nice little stretch. And then we come back to drag it forward. Just that part. I'm going to move a little bit more forward just so I have a deeper opening across the front. And I'm staying broad across my collarbones and shoulders. And I'm going to lift through my body up and forward. Just 5 of those. It's a version of pigeon. And last one. Excellent. And bring that right knee directly under the right hip. And now it's the left side's turn. Left leg goes nice and long. You sit back towards your right foot, if it's available, and you drag it forward. My left foot has to come off the earth because I'm on a very cushiony mat. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. Just 5 of those as well. It's just to help open the front of that pelvis to thigh bone connection. One more. And this is where it becomes very important for that to stay open. So now I'm going to reach my right leg nice and long, reach my left leg nice and long, and go all the way down onto a Sphinx position. All right, so here I am. My elbows are a little in front of my shoulders or my collarbones. My hands are in line with the elbows. You can always go to prayer pose with your hands. Clasping your hands together is also a viable option. Just being mindful that your breastbone is staying lifted and it's resting broad across with the collarbone towards the shoulders. Eyes forward, we go into single leg kick. I'm going to start on my left leg. So my left knee, from the knee, bends. I flex the foot and point the foot and point it back away. So point, flex, point away. Point, flex, point away. Point, flex, point away. I'm alternating legs. Did not say that out loud at first. Single leg kick for each side. 15 to 20 of these, I know. But if the front of those hips were not as easily open, then this is kind of a tough position to be in. 4 more times. At least. Breath does not matter. Just use your breath wisely. Don't exaggerate it. Once you have the number that floats your boat, let your whole body melt down onto your belly. Now, being on your belly is not always a must. If that doesn't feel good, skip this section and finish with the rest. So, all right, here we go. I'm on my belly. I've got my hands stacked one on top of each other, my forehead resting on the back of my hands. And I'm going to remind myself to not shrug my shoulders towards my ears. So releasing the shoulders down and allowing the tail to stay really long, low belly lifted. And I'm also going to ask my bum to stop working too hard. So no clenching necessary, no squeezing necessary. And then from that connection, I'm going to let go of my left hand. I'm going to reach my left ankle with my left hand. And I'm just going to think of giving myself a stretch for the front of that left thigh bone, hip, and all of that whole length of that left thigh bone and hip. And being mindful again that I'm not pulling on that foot and leg too much. I'm just letting it rest in my hand. And now from there, I'm going to let my leg kick into my hand and my hand support the leg as I float my heart and my chest forward and slightly up. And turn and look at that left hand behind me. Come back to center and roll back down. Just that part 5 times. So I reach and lift my heart and my chest. Turn, look, and come back to center and relax back down. So keeping the front and the back of the ankle in the same position instead of one side of the ankle completely working hard. So think of both sides playing with each other. Last one. Excellent. And then let that go. Do you feel ridiculously long on the left side? I sure do. All right, let's give the right side some love, shall we? Boy, I feel much heavier on the left front of the hip on Mother Earth too. All right, so here we go. I'm going to reach and take my right hand off, reach my right foot with my right hand, and I'm just going to give that right thigh bone, front of the hip, a good stretch without having to pull or yank on it. Just letting my leg bent rest in my hand as much as possible. Trying to let the thigh bone stay heavy onto the earth, especially the top of the thigh bone that talks to the pelvis. And now from that connection, I'm going to float my right knee barely off, letting my right leg kick into my hand so my shoulder can open a little bit more, and then float my eyes, my heart, head, neck, and shoulders a little bit more forward and open, and then turn and look at my right hand, come back to center, and relax back down. Using whatever breath feels comfortable here. Just 5 of those. And 2 more. Excellent. Oh yeah. And releasing. I'm loving the whole low back getting a deeper stretch for me today, because the front of my body is so much happier. Awesome. So now from there, I'm going to be very gentle with myself today. So I'm going to take my hands underneath my shoulders, tuck the toes under, bend my knees, and push myself up and back into a child's pose. Something I used to take for granted, I now have lots of appreciation for. Excellent. And then I'm going to roll my way all the way up. So this next section, it's not a very easy section, but it'll get better and better. So I'm going to come up to tall kneeling, where my toes are going to get tucked under, and the big toe side of the ball of my feet, I'll show you, they're kissing each other. So the big toe side of my feet, both feet are kissing each other. My knees are a little wider than hip width apart, and I have a good lift across the front of my hips. I'm not sitting back with my hips behind my knees. My hips are directly over on top of my knees. So there's a lovely internal support of that suspenders going up the front of the body, resting down the shoulder blades, all the way down the sides of the middle of the back, onto the sit bones, going down the back of the hamstrings to the back of the knees. So from that connection, arms out in front of you with the palms either down or up, it does not matter. We're going into just a simple hinge. So head, earlobe, ribs, shoulders, hips, knees, all in one line as you hinge directly back. A subtle pelvic tilt is A-okay here, because sometimes that's what we need to feel the tail reaching nice and long and forward. So hinging back and coming right back on top of those knees. And hinging back and coming right back up. We only have 3 more of these, I promise. Hinge back and hinge forward. 2 more. Hinge back and hinge forward. Last one. And hinge forward. So here we go. Here's my new obsession of how am I going to come up without compromising many areas of my spine. I've untucked my toes. I've got the shoelaces of my feet down. I'm going to swing the right leg out to the side, come forward with that right foot and right knee perpendicular to the heel. So my shin has to slide a little further back onto the heel to help me come up, which throws me into a nice stretch for the front of the left thigh bone, and it invites my right bum to come into play. The whole right thigh bone has to help you and work here. If the knee does all the work, then that thigh bone is not doing much or the bum is not doing much. So be mindful that the knee is not going too far past the middle of your foot. So here we go. We're going to lunge into that front leg, tuck the back toes under to come all the way up to standing. Go right back down onto that left knee. Hook that, swing that right leg back to where you were. Same leg 5 times, and then we'll go to the other side. Unhook those toes, shoelaces of your feet down. Swing the right foot forward. Left toes tuck under. You lunge a little forward. Lift your way up. Back down. Swing that right leg back to where you were. Untuck the toes. Swing the leg forward. Hinge. Tuck the back toes. Lift directly up. Back down. Swing the leg back. Yes? Here's 2 more. Is it okay if you use a wall to help you support these? Absolutely. Last one. Lifting across the front. Remember the suspenders at all times. If we go into a back bend, we throw our back into it. So try not to. It's the left side's responsibility next, or left side's love next. Left leg swings forward. Our chest and our upper body go between the 2 feet. It's not staying with just the back foot. Hinging forward, back toes tuck under. We step directly into that left heel to lift up. Back knee drops. Relax the foot. Swing the leg back. Find your uprightedness. I don't know, I lost count, so forgive me. Last 2. I can do these all day just because I know I need them. It's been helping me with my knees. Excellent. All right. So now we're on our knees. How are we going to come all the way up to standing, you're wondering? Let's do one nice sequence of rolling like a ball. Now, if you are in the 2nd or the 3rd term of your pregnancy, rolling like a ball is not really invitable. So skip that part. You can just come up to standing. But squatting is actually good for us. So I'm going into a squat after I roll like a ball to come up to standing. So I'm going to swing my right leg out in front of me, take my left hand down, swing my left leg, and then have a seat. I know I'm using my hands just for kinder thoughts in my brain and for you. Drag your right leg towards you. Drag your left leg towards you. Curl back from the bottom of your tailbone and your pelvis. Hands can go on your shins, behind your thigh bones, wherever you are. We're going to roll like a ball. Head never touches the ground ideally. And your neck does not change shape ideally. Here's the 3rd one. I'm going to take my legs wide, feet wide. Use my heels to come up to a really low squat. And I know this is not something that's available for all of us. So if you need to be here, by all means, do so. I'm going to go a little lower into as low of a chair as I can. Broad collarbones, easy shoulders. And from my low chair, I'm going to float my heels off and lower back down. Float my heels off, lower back down. I'm going to talk to my big toe side and the little toe side of my feet equally. Instead of sickling my feet, whoa, I almost fell there. I am on a very soft, cushiony mat, which is on top of a soft, cushiony carpet, unlike the hardwood floors that I'm used to. Last 2. Last one. And then I'm going to come all the way up to standing. All right, try not to lock out at my knees. Coming nice and tall. Finding all corners of my feet just to find earth. I know, we're almost done, by the way. Just going into a forward fold. Letting the crown of my head reach for the earth. Essentially, it's similar to your spine stretch forward. We're in an upside down U. And then you're going to roll your way back up. 2 more. Arms up towards the sky if you feel like it. Exhale over a big beach rubber ball. Knees soft. Tail hanging down. Head and neck happy. Always being able to speak clearly. And rolling your way back up. Yay! Thank you for playing. Have a wonderful day.